With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
This is a Hardcore Grind interview with the fabulous actress, screenwriter, director, and you do a little bit of everything. Oh my gosh. Okay, I want to start with a go moment, right? So we always talk about I always talk about a go moment. A go moment is when thought and execution really come together. A lot of times we're really mindful about how we pour into other people, how they pour into themselves, and they stay in step. But when we think of the things that we want to do, we always put lack behind that. It's not enough time. I can't do it right now. I don't think that's going to be for me. So I just want to go back to your go moment when you first decided to say, this is what I'm going to do, and you made the choice to step into the industry. What was that moment like for you?
Well, it's interesting because I've always been creative. I've always, since I was a little girl, I would sing and be in plays. My mom writes plays, so she always had a spot for me. And but I think it was about 10 years ago. I was divorced, raising my sons, and I was working a corporate job, and it was a very good job and with people that I really liked working with. But I just felt so unfulfilled. And there was this moment when I was driving to work, and it's like a scene in a movie. The light turned green. I was supposed to turn right, and I sat there. And I was just like, I cannot go one more time. I was like, I just can't do this. And so I kept sitting there. The light turned red. And the next time it turned green, I went straight. And it took me about a year before I actually left my job, but that was the moment. And after I actually left my job, I was literally sitting in my car again at a red light, and I looked in the rearview mirror, and I looked at myself, and I said, you are an actor. When anybody asks you, what do you do, or, what's your job, just say, I'm an actor. And for me, it was that moment of recognizing that I had to define who I was, I had to call myself by that name, and I had to boldly speak that to other people. And from that point forward, I felt so much more comfortable in the space of the decision that I had made to move into acting full time.
Oh, my goodness. Now, for you, when you decided to move into acting, you decided to go from corporate America. Were you screenwriting at that time, or had you not decided to do that just yet?
Interesting tidbit. I have been writing since I was a child. I won poetry contests and just always was writing. If I wasn't writing something specific like a story, I was journaling. And but I was finding that I would write these books, but I would never get to the end. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I a situation happened with a friend of mine. We were best friends. We went on a trip to Atlanta, and we got into our first argument. And we argued, and we really couldn't get to any real resolution. So I was just like, forget it. My friendship's more important. I'm dropping it. But me being the person I am, I really couldn't drop it. So I was like, I'm going to write this into a script because it was a trip, and it was a trip from hell. So that's what I wrote, And my friend is an actress as well. So if I wrote a script, I knew she'd read it. And so basically I told the story from my perspective. And so she could kind of understand where I was coming from. And the funny thing was our dialogue was so hilarious, I pretty much quoted us word for word throughout the whole script. And it was so easy to get from the beginning to the end. And needless to say, the script didn't help. She still has her point of view. I still have mine. But what it did was open up the door to me for me to realize without the pressure of trying to write a script for the right reason. I was just writing it to prove a point. But what it showed me was that I was able to write a script pretty easily. And that kind of opened the door to me writing, a few pilots, some short films, a feature, and that argument was the catalyst to me becoming a screenwriter.
Oh, wow. I love it. Because, I always say a black woman who can write is powerful. What does that power mean for you?
Well, it gives me the ability to tell stories through my frame of reference as a black female in America. It gives me the opportunity to not only tell stories, but to, I guess, in a clandestine manner, teach principles and lessons, because there will always be some unspoken, some unspoken principle that is going to be taught in all of the things that I write. It's not going to be overt. It's not going to be the point of the story, but you're going to learn these nuggets while you're watching it, because that's kind of the purpose, is to be able to affect society and affect people one viewer at a time.
And what intrigues you the most about storytelling?
What intrigues me the most? Well, for me, it's the way that I write. I don't follow, I guess, the processes that everyone follows. I think writing is a very personal thing, and you have to allow the story to be created in whatever manner it creates itself. And that's really what happens with me. I sit down with an idea, I sit down with a group of characters, and I allow them to tell me the story. It's so interesting that when I'm writing, I truly don't know what's going to happen next. Like, I don't know, and then all of a sudden, it's as if I hear it, I see it, it's just happening, and I'm just typing. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. Like, I'm enjoying it as if I'm watching it. Like, if the story is not telling itself, then I don't feel like I'm doing a good job. I don't want to force the story. I like the story to tell and create itself. And I find that intriguing, because that's never been something that I've understood when other writers have said, well, the characters speak to me. I was like, oh my gosh, whatever. But they do. They really do. Yes. Like, you get to know who they are, and you know what they would do or what they would say in a certain situation, and you just allow them to do that.
Absolutely. I love just, experiencing a person's passion and their creativity. And I remember watching it was Charlie Chaplin's movie, but it was like a movie/documentary type thing. And it talked about how he never really wrote an outline for any of his movies. He literally did it at that point in time. And it just played out however it played out. And if something didn't fit, he moved it. He took something out. He replaced the actress, whatever it is. But he never pre-wrote anything in regards to any of his movies. Now, what writers have influenced you the most and why?
You know, I don't even have an answer to that as far as screenwriters, but when I was a kid, I read all the time, and I read a lot of John Grisham and Stephen King, and, you know, I like suspenseful thriller-type stories. And when I first started writing, you know, that was not what I was writing. I was writing things that were very close to my own life, and, you know, sitcoms, things that are funny, a bunch of girlfriends, those types of things. But in reality, those aren't even the types of things that I watch on TV. Those aren't the type of movies that I rush out to go see. And I have had this story in my head for about 12 years, and I finally started writing it. I had been so intimidated to write it because it is a thriller. And I was like, I don't know how to write a thriller. I just write something quick and short and funny, and that's what I do. And but I've sat down and I've almost finished it. It's a feature film called Behind the Transparent Wall. And it's a thriller, and it's got so many twists and turns, and I'm like, wow, Keya, you can write this too. And this is what I enjoy. So I've enjoyed the writing process so much more because I am being entertained while I'm writing it.
I love it. I love it. Now, you know, a lot of aspiring artists, you know, when you first get into the industry, it can be a little difficult sometimes, a little frustrating sometimes. What advice would you have for aspiring artists that are entering into the entertainment world?
Well, I think for the most part, regardless of what you're aspiring to do, whether it's in music, whether it's writing, whether it's acting, the advice is the same. Like, never give up. We hear it over and over again, but it's so true. You know, it's about learning your craft. It's about continual improvement. It's about networking. You know, from my experience, because I work on large studio productions on crew and as cast. And regardless of where you find yourself sitting, it's 99% who you know. You have got to get out and you've got to network. And when I say network, I don't mean meet somebody and then ask them for something. I mean develop genuine relationships with people so that opportunities arise for you and things you can do for them. So, you know, it's a mutual thing. It's a two-way street. It's not I'm going to go meet Regina King and have her to put me in a movie. You know, that's not networking. That's asking for favors. But networking is really developing those genuine relationships, and I find that to be super important in this industry.
Yes, and a lot of times it's not really what you know, it's kind of who you know, and being able to develop those relationships, and then you have people that are encouraging you and really like speaking your name in places that you've never been, you know, just by saying, you know, I know somebody that'd be great for this part, or that would be great to be able to do this, and those relationships are the best thing to be able to have. Now, we were talking about Christmas in Harmony. It's getting ready to re-air October the 30th. Tell us a little bit about that movie.
Oh, that was so much fun to do. I was in a supporting role playing the character of Mia Washington. She's a little bit of a troublemaker. She's got a mouth on her, opening her mouth when she should be closing her mouth. But it's a beautiful story about a couple who were separated when they were young. They come together to lead a choir and raise money for a homeless shelter. and Seeking a Christmas Miracle. And it's a Hallmark movie, so you know how those end. But Luke James is a lead in that one. Loretta Devine. I met some incredible people there. It was such a fun film to make, and just really, really enjoyed it, and just love the movie. It's so cute and endearing. It's a really good. It's an all-black cast, Hallmark Christmas movie, and just to go a little deeper, this is a dark-skinned cast. This isn't the typical what you see. So just really proud to be a part of something like that.
Absolutely. And then why do you think the viewers are connecting with the movie and the cast so much? What is that one element you believe that you all are bringing to television?
Well, I think specifically for that movie, because it's a Hallmark movie, there is a pretty set audience, and they are looking for wholesome, fun, happiness, Christmas, good over evil, good always wins, and we bring all of those elements and some good music.
I love it. I love it. Well, I love a good holiday movie. Something you can watch every year that just makes you excited, especially that has an all-black cast. I just love it. I love to be able to experience that, and I'm excited to watch it on the 30th. Now, if you could change anything about the industry, if you had the power, what would it be, and why are those changes needed?
I think some of the things, I guess there are a lot of things that I would change, but I'm going to talk about something personal that I think, so I think that there's a problem with, looking for that perfect person, the skinny, long hair, blonde hair, blue-eyed, there's these stereotypical people that you see on TV. And if I could help the industry break those stereotypes and just really look for, real characters, people that look like real people, folks that we can all relate to. I think about that because over the pandemic, I picked up some pandemic weight. So it's like, oh, my God, I'm so big. I need to lose weight. There aren't as many roles, for us bigger girls. And I think that, that's something that it is definitely changing. I most definitely see more people of all different kinds of colors and shapes and sizes on TV, but I think we just need to move more in that direction because we talk so much about representation, and it's not just race. It's disabled people, it's people that are heavy, it's all sorts of people. I think that needs to all be reflected because that's all a part of life, and art is a reflection of life.
Absolutely. And I agree. And I think as women, and I don't know if you've experienced that too, but as women, we are very hard on ourselves, very hard on ourselves. So sometimes we see what other people don't see. So it's very hard, I think, for us sometimes to see what everybody else sees in us because we have that critical, I don't know if it's that critical gene that we have, that might be that motherly gene that just makes us pinpoint certain things whenever we are just moving about in life. Now, as you enter into the industry and you go through and you've been writing and directing and acting, and what are some of the challenges outside of the feeling of your weight insecurities, what other challenges have you faced in the industry as a Black woman?
Well, I guess just getting my foot in the door. You know, that's it's a really difficult thing to do. You know, you have to pay your dues. And so I work on crew as well as cast on most projects that I work on. And, you know, I think sometimes just being given the opportunity to do a job, you know, you may do it on an independent film, but to be able to do that on a studio production where you can, you know, earn credits towards joining the union and you can make a higher salary and work more consistently, that has probably been the most difficult thing. I wasn't able to get my foot in the door to even work on the crew side until a couple of years ago. And but once you get in there, then you meet people, you have connections, and folks will remember you for the next one. But I'd say something else would be just the thing that I think all artists deal with is just overcoming disappointments and being discouraged. Like, that's the most difficult thing, I think, is keeping yourself motivated, remembering that if you are on the path that is designated for you, even if it's difficult, everything that you need is on that path. You just got to pick it up and keep going till you get to the next thing you need to sustain you. And I think that for anybody that is trying to enter into the entertainment industry or any industry for that matter, being able to encourage yourself and not needing someone to always boost you and push you along, because you don't always have that, because the road is long and folks don't understand why it's taking you so long to get somewhere. So the encouragement, it comes and goes because people are like, I don't know what she's doing. But, you know, I'm just on my path. And I just continue to encourage myself and keep moving forward in faith.
I love it. And that's true, because I always say that, you know, your lane is paved just for you. Everything is paved just for you. And sometimes we always get to that one side street, that one dark street, and it's like it hasn't been paved. We haven't done anything with it. We haven't created what that area is going to look like in our life. But we don't see what it could be. We see gravel road and we don't see street lights, and it's like, I'm worried about my tires. I don't know if I want to go down there just yet, because I had to call AAA, and I don't think I want to be out there by myself in the dark like that, you know. But sometimes we do have to make those bold steps in the dark. We have to be able to make those steps in order for us to really get to the place that God has already planned for us to be, but we got to face our fears in order to do that. Now, you recently wrapped production on Please Don't Destroy.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about that movie. What can we expect?
A lot of laughs. It's a big comedy. It's a Judd Apatow buddy comedy. It's about three friends, and it's kind of a coming of age. I need to grow up, but I don't want to yet. But life is forcing me to kind of comedy. It stars, it's written by three Saturday Night Live writers, and they are also the stars of it. And they do the Please Don't Destroy skit on Saturday Night Live. And it's just super funny, lots of big gags, big stunts, a lot of laughter. I'm definitely looking forward to that. We did a lot of improv on set and had a lot of fun with that. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing the completed project. It should be completed around August of next year.
Oh, I love it. And now, what did you have to do to prepare for that role?
Well, the funny thing is I I didn't do a lot to prepare for it because I had been working with the boys. That's what we call the guys that wrote the film, the boys. But I've been working with them the whole time through the pre-production. So I really got to know them, pretty good. So just really just being around them, being in the energy, and watching some of the other scenes be filmed. I was the executive producer assistant on that project as well. So I got to watch a lot of the footage and watch the director's style of directing. So, you just get in there and you just be ready for, whatever they come up with because, this comes from the world of Saturday Night Live, of improv and just, being able to turn on a dime. And so really that was just getting my mind prepared for having to do something completely different than what I expected.
I love it. Now I do want to go back because you actually worked in the on the play Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I remember I loved that book growing up. What was that moment like for you?
Okay, so now I'm going to just try not to be teary-eyed because working on that project was the best professional thing that I've ever done because I had the opportunity to be the director's assistant, and she was amazing. Her name is Kelly Freeman Craig, and she is an amazing director, amazing mentor. She allowed me to participate in things that probably most assistants don't get to do. There was a moment when she literally handed me the mic of God on set and told me to direct. So I had a moment where I actually directed a teeny tiny piece of this Lionsgate movie. And, I just had an opportunity to watch a film for the first time really from start to finish, literally from there just being, producer, director, and the people in the office. I got to really watch the process of hiring all the department heads and all of the people through the casting process, getting to know the actors, and then with this just being my favorite book that I read over and over again, having the opportunity to actually meet Judy Blume, it was just all priceless. One of the producers on the film was James L. Brooks, who one of the creators of The Simpsons. Just wonderful to be able to sit under and just listen to and learn from someone who's been in the industry that long and has had so much success. It was just a wonderful experience that I can't wait to see what tops it. And in addition to that, I was in the film just for a brief short period of time, but just the whole experience was just magical for me.
Oh, my God, I can imagine. I love Judy Blume. I grew up on her books, and that was one of my favorite books growing up to be able to read. Oh, my God, I can imagine how great that was.
I love the movie. I mean, Kathy Bates is in it. Rachel McAdams is in it. It's just, and everybody was just lovely, and the chemistry was amazing. The performances were stellar. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie gets nominated for some big awards because it is just going to be wonderful.
Oh, I'm so excited. Now, I got some questions, though. Now, I got some questions about Single again. Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, I got some questions. So, I do know that, you did some executive producer on there. Tell us a little bit about it. I know it's not much you can say, but tell us a little bit about it and when can we expect it? Because I'm waiting for it.
Well, Single Again is a project that I wrote and I wrote the pilot. It's for a sitcom. And we have not filmed it yet. I'm still doing all the executive producer stuff and trying to get the funding and everything for that. But the show, the premise of the show is three cousins meet up every week to catch up and talk about their lives. And the middle cousin has been single for about 4 years, and she's hung up on her ex. And so the other two ladies decide they're going to set her up on a dating app, and they force her to go out on dates.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, one cousin is always going out and has multiple boyfriends. The other cousin is very churchified and waiting on her Boaz. So there's just a lot of hijinks and laughter around dating in your 40s.
See, because this is the thing. The dating pool. The dating pool has pee in it. It really does. It might be some other mucky stuff up in there. And so I believe that dating over 40 is a little difficult, especially even coming out of a marriage. Because then it's like you're into foolery. It's like you're just thrown into the foolery of the whole thing, and so it's very difficult to date after 40. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's women, as our temperament may change a little bit, and we're like, listen, I kind of don't have time for that. So I'm excited to see what you do with this, because it's really, really needed. It's a lot going on in the dating world. It's a lot that needs to be fixed up and changed.
Really is.
And a lot of that starts with ourselves.
I'm single, so I'm dealing with all of that. I'm single, and my friends are single, and it's more of an African American female over 40 thing than white counterparts. They are getting married. They are, they are coupling up. This is kind of something that's our issue, and I led a singles ministry at my church with like 1,500 singles, and it's pretty much the same story that you hear over and over again. The men are not as serious about coupling, especially those that have been divorced already. So, it's a phenomenon, and and I want to talk about it.
And I'm glad. Because this is the thing. I believe, and I not even just believe, I have learned and experienced that anything that comes from God is like a step. It's like a beat. Right. I mean, it's never ending. It's like change step. It's like boom, boom, boom. So therefore, I really believe that if he's going to send somebody, he is going to, they're going to know their assignment. Like, he's going to give them direction before they even come into my presence. And I'd rather wait on that than society's or the world's version of don't replace him. Teach him how to be your man. He's not going to be perfect. You got to build him. This is not Build-A-Bear. We don't have time for that after 40. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about this project that you got coming out. So let me know when that comes out. And if you need somebody to help out, just let me know.
Okay. Absolutely.
Now, you have a lot going on coming up in 2023. Just let us know what's going on next for you. What can we expect moving forward? Are you going to be writing that thriller that you have in your mind? We're going to see some authorship going on. What can we expect coming up?
Well, I have been doing a lot of auditioning, and trust me, auditioning is an actor's full-time job. They actually book work and act on a part-time basis. So I've had 64 auditions this year so far. So I am hoping, right. So I am hoping that I will be booking something relatively soon. They say 25,000 submissions go out for each role, and about 10 to 20 people get auditions. So I feel blessed to be getting auditions. But in the meantime, in between that, I will continue to work on my feature film called Behind the Transparent Wall. And I've written a short film called The Conversation, which is actually the very next thing that I would like to film. I would like for it to be kind of my resume as a writer-director, to be the thing that people can see, to have an idea of the type of work that I want to do. It's also a thriller and more suspense thriller. And, I want to create a couple of projects that can be my writer-director reel, so that when I get to the point of being ready to do the feature, I'll have something to show of my work as I start to pitch it and all of that kind of stuff. So those are the top things on my agenda, is just to keep taking acting classes and growing and learning, and and in between that, probably pick up a job on crew here and there. Like I said, when we have productions local to Charlotte, I typically work on the crew side, supporting either the director or producer. I've also worked in costumes and set debt in the art department and in the production office. So, I'll stay busy somewhere in that entertainment world, whether it's on the crew side, on the acting side, or writing, directing.
Ooh, I'm excited. Listen, you like the highway. You know how you go down 75 and then it's like all these different exits, and each time you go down the exits it's like boom, boom, boom. That you like the highway. Like, I'm excited to see what exits you're gonna take us on next. So you all just keep me posted on what you got going on, and I am here to support. Listen, I'm like in the background. Did y'all see this? This is gonna be good, and I want to see some books. I do. I want to experience some books from you. I think that you're really dope in real life. You know what I'm saying? And I think that your creativity is gonna go beyond the screen. But I want to see some books from you. I'm excited to see what you give us, just as your journey takes you through the industry. And I want to thank you for sharing your time, your space, and your energy with us. I want you to shout out all of your social media, any projects you have coming up that you want us to check out, any projects you've dropped that you want us to go see. Go ahead and let us know what's going on there.
All right. Well, we do have, like I said, Christmas in Harmony will be on the Hallmark Channel. That will be on the 30th. Check your listings for the time. We have Please Don't Destroy. That is the untitled version. There may be a new title before it's released, but it's the Judd Apatow buddy comedy that should be out the end of the summer next year. We also have the feature film, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, and that should be coming out April the 28th. My social media is on Facebook. It's just Keya Hamilton, Keya Hamilton, and everything else is at Talk to Kiki, TALK, the number 2, KEKE.
All right. I love it. And I thank you so very much. I'm going to stop the interview.